Welcome back to Unstable. I am Jeff Steckel, your ever loyal and ever present host. We're on our 48th episode, and we got a really good game coming up, or at least what we hope will be a really good game. With me, as always, is Justin, Kmaker_DFF. How have you been doing, man?
Man, been working a lot, but man, I have really been looking forward to this game through the bye week. Been looking at it real close. Man, this is a lot of cards on the table for this one.
Yeah, it's I said it on this AFC South show last night. Pretty much every game from here on out is a playoff game for the Colts. It's pretty much, I think right now they're at about a 25% chance to make the playoffs. They beat Denver, it goes up over, I think, 50%. If they lose, it drops to about 6. So there is still a very slim outside chance if they lose this game to make it, but no. Who is Houston playing? I think they're playing the Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
So with a Texans win, Colts loss, the Colts can't win the division. So we're hoping for the opposite. we want the Texans to lose, Colts to win. That's pretty much all the time, but even more so now. Man, it's just the implications of losing by Houston by 5 points. Just one of those games, if we would have picked that up, it'd be a tied division right now. So those early games, they matter. People say they don't. They absolutely do.
Oh, yeah.
Frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, you can't – every game in this league is important. You can't act like, oh, well, we'll worry about this next time. We just dropped one loss. No, that one loss can haunt you.
Mm-hmm. What was it? Last year. Like there was that really bad game against Cleveland, horribly officiated at the end of the game. It wouldn't even have mattered if the Colts won that game.
Right.
They'd have been a playoff team. So it matters. It matters a lot. And now they got to get their shit together and whatever. But a little bit of housekeeping before we really dive into it. We're still at 73 subscribers. Help us out. Jam the button, share it, like it, comment, and go over to Kingmaker_DFF. Do the same. Show some love. He's doing a lot of. He's your fantasy go-to guy. So if you got any questions, make sure you hit him up for those. And go over to this AFC South show. Do the same. We usually all get together, except I promise there is a Titans fan. He's never on. But we do have a Titans pod. Yeah.
Tennessee still has a team?
It was never. I don't know. So they tell us. I don't know, man. They're not any good.
I mean, there's a stadium in Nashville. I don't know if there's a team that plays there.
I mean, there are people that use it. I don't know if you can call it, like professional, but they're there.
Just random people on the street putting on Titans jerseys and just running out there.
They just tell, like, just anybody on the street, they just let them into the stadium.
They got the Replacements movie in real life going on. Gene Hackman and everything.
But injury-wise, everybody's pretty much looking healthy. Denver's looking healthy.
Yeah.
Colts are looking healthy, with the exception of Doolin. And, I mean, he can't keep himself in bounds anyway. And then Braden Smith, personal matter. Couldn't find really any details about it. They're keeping it personal. So, hope everything's all right with whatever it is. Other than that, Downs is questionable, which is actually surprising. I honestly didn't think he'd play. I'm happy he should.
But he was a full participant in practice, so that's a good sign.
He should go.
Yeah. I mean, the guys that outside of Ashton Doolin and Braden Smith that are officially out, all of them, they look like they're going to play, or they have a very good chance to play. So the questionable tag you might see, or the undefined NA, whatever site you're getting your info from, I wouldn't worry about that. It's not looking too risky. I mean, we should be fine with Downs, fine with Pittman. Pittman's been playing through it all season. The man's been a monster. He's toughing it out. You got to respect that guy. And Buck, I mean, I think that's just some soreness. He should be fine. He didn't practice, but a veteran like him, I would chalk it up to rest, man.
Yeah, it even says like he was on there full with back, and then I think it was a rest day Friday. So
Oh, okay.
I'm not concerned about it at all. It actually says rest, so
I'm just based off
not
that
concerned.
I know Shane's not real strict about his top veterans. You know, just going hard all week, give them a little rest if they're got some bumps and bruises, stuff like that to heal up. So, but that's good. That's good to know that it does say rest on there. So that's good.
And of course, Josh Downs. We talked about him. He's very important to this offense. He's kind of that what the tight end should be to Anthony Richardson. He's that security blanket, the guy that if you need that first down, if you need whatever, he's going to get it. I mean, he's almost a guarantee. He's one of the few that have been one of the more reliable pass catchers on this team. Ryan Kelly, I think he was removed from injury reserve, and I mean he was limited all week, but I would expect him to go. But yeah, so it'll probably be Ryman. Ryman is good. I think Goncalves is going to take over at right tackle for Braden Smith, and I'm hoping it's Glowinski for the rest of the way out at right guard. I think he played really well against the Patriots. So,
oh yeah, you're right.
And we need them all. We need them all. Denver.
That's what it's looking like, isn't it?
Denver does not have a very good secondary. Well, I mean, they do, but
other than Patrick Surtain.
Yeah.
I mean, right now Patrick Surtain's like one of the top corners in the league.
Yeah.
But we've got enough offensive weapons, especially at wide receiver, to keep him guessing.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he tries to shadow, let's say, I don't think he's gonna shadow Pittman. I think Denver with knowing Pittman has a back problem, that Indianapolis isn't going to feature him as an alpha. So I would look for Surtain if it was me, right? Okay. I would look at Surtain shadowing Downs. Because I mean, for looking at the numbers, Downs is the alpha right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know Pitt's got a hurt back and Downs has been the alpha, if I'm Vance Joseph, I'm telling Pat, hey man, shadow Downs, and we'll worry about A.D. Mitchell and Pittman after the fact, because we don't use our tight ends, so they know that's not going to be a problem, right? So this may be a great Jonathan Taylor, a bunch of dink and dunks. I mean, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a JT owner, so of course that too, but
for sure. And like I was saying, they're going to need these guys. Like I think that this Denver defense specifically, is very exploitable. I really do. And I think because this line is healthy, the Colts have one of the better offensive lines. They haven't looked the part in some of these games, but if they're playing at a high level, and they should coming off of a bye, Anthony Richardson's done a really good job at keeping himself from getting sacked. He did have a couple interceptions against the Patriots, but one he was kind of baited in. The other was a bad throw, but he didn't take any sacks. He's had a history of some fumbling issues. I didn't really see that a whole lot. And he's looked really good the last few games. He really has. And, if you're going to stat watch, I mean, do you, boo-boo, but that doesn't tell the game. It really doesn't.
You can't just study the box score and think you know how the game went.
I mean, it used to be back in like the Manning, the Luck, the Brady, you were stat watching. Like, man, if they didn't put up 350, 3 touchdowns, it was a disappointment.
Right.
It's not that NFL anymore. These defenders are much bigger, much faster. It's just not the same, and it's a lot more like hidden stuff. And we talked about a lot of penalties that called back a lot of huge plays, and not against the Patriots. I can't remember what game it was before that. The Lions, where they kept shooting themselves in the foot. It seemed like every damn play. There was a lot. He would have had over 300 passing yards if it weren't for every penalty that was taken off. So it was really frustrating. So like I was saying, if you're going to box score, do you? But there's
a story. You're right though. Yeah. If fans will step back and break down the game and not just look on whatever website they're getting for their stats, it's like the unseen game, or the untold game on the stat sheet. Because you're only seeing what they actually did. You're not seeing what didn't happen because, like you said, plays getting called back that could have been massive gains, big time yard plays. So I mean, that's where fans do need to take the box score with a grain of salt nowadays and actually watch the game. But hey, that's what you and me are here for. We're here to fill in those gaps for the fans.
Yeah. And if I was doing something and I didn't watch the Colts Patriots game, I would have looked at it and been like, God damn, 109 yards. I mean, 2 touchdowns is nice, but 2 picks, that's abysmal. Like 50% completion. But I watched the entire game and it's like, bro, he should have had 4 or 5 more at least completions. It would have put him closer to 200 yards. Like, he can't run out there and catch the damn. I know he's really athletic, but he can't catch his own damn passes too. He can't throw it 50 yards and get under it. So
well, we haven't seen it yet. We don't know it's impossible.
Maybe he can.
We haven't seen it yet.
But I really think the formula that Shane, it seems like he's finally learned how to use this guy.
Yeah, that's right.
And the right type of offense to use with his players. Jonathan Taylor, 25 carries, didn't break 100 yards, but I'm fine with it. They pounded the ball. They had a lot of good runs in there. Anthony Richardson had a lot of good runs in it. And I think that formula going forward is what we've been crying for all season. Run the rock, run the ball, take that pressure off of Anthony Richardson, and he'll deliver some strikes for you.
Right.
Like, hit that sweet spot for him is 20, maybe 25 attempts. That's perfect. Anything more than that.
He's not going to be – if he's throwing the ball over 30 times, then you're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You've got way too many offensive weapons for him to be throwing 30 times. I mean, we talked at the beginning of the season. You pay Jonathan Taylor, give him the damn ball.
Yeah.
Let him earn that paycheck. If you really want Anthony Richardson to be your franchise guy going forward, then you do need to preserve him. And one way to do that is with your alpha running back.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I'm not saying let him sit back there like a pocket passer and take his legs away like Jeff Fisher did to Vince Young back in the day. I'm not saying that because we saw how that worked out for Vince Young, right? Let him be an athlete, but do your best to kind of mediate that workload on his body. If he can not take those hits, then let's not take those hits.
Yeah. Everybody talks about Anthony Richardson. He's tissue paper. He gets hurt, whatever. I actually really like his running style at this point. He's running like a running back when he's running the football. And that's how you need to be taught to run. And I'm not going to we're not going to do the whole Trevor Lawrence thing again. I'm just brief example of why sliding is retarded. You're leaving him vulnerable for stuff like that. Yeah, it was a cheap shot, whatever, but it wouldn't have happened if you actually taught him. Like Lamar Jackson doesn't take hits like that. He just doesn't.
No,
he gets out of bounds. He gets down. And it's not necessarily sliding. He just gets to the ground. It's the same concept. Peyton Manning was not a mobile quarterback, but he knew what to do. And he had that internal clock in his head. And he just knew, get down.
Right.
So, yeah. Battery about to die. When did you say that? But no, he knew what to do. He had that internal clock. He went down when he knew he was about to take a hit. And he's got to come on for a second.
He's looking good though. I mean, so it's not a big deal. I mean, he's starting to make good decisions, running out of bounds, sliding. So I mean, that's something to look forward to. I mean, he's learning, and that's what we talked about in past shows. We want to see. We want to see progression.
Gotcha. I'm gonna take you off real quick so you can.
All right.
What you got to do real quick. He'll be back in a minute. But yeah, Peyton Manning knew what to do when he would get hit. He knew to go down. He knew what he needed to do. And Anthony Richardson's a runner. We all know that. He's an athletic, mobile quarterback. He's got a cannon of an arm, needs to work on his accuracy. We all know these things. We've all been talking about it. That's beating a dead horse at this point. But I like his style of running. I like what he's been doing. And it's lowering the shoulder. He's acting like a running back, and in turn, it does protect himself. Yeah, you don't want him to see him taking a lot of shots. Yeah, you don't want to see that, but it's him being a runner, and that's what makes sense to me. I think Rex Ryan talked about it. Sliding leaves him open to that. So I like that he's actually running like a running back when he's carrying the football. And man, some of those hits. When he ran for those 2 touchdowns against the Jets, he flattened those dudes with his truck. And I brace for impact, ran him over. And that's what I like to see.
Yeah, for sure.
It's how you should run as a runner. And when you're not in the pocket as a quarterback, you are a running back at that point. So I think that's more the way that these coaches should be teaching quarterbacks how to run with the football.
Yes. I mean, he's a big kid. He can take it, but, we don't want him to take it all the time, right? I mean, he's big, but he ain't Cam Newton big.
How big was Cam Newton? I don't remember.
Yeah, Cam Newton was a giant, dude.
Take off the top hat, but
yeah, and all the braids and stuff like that. I think the braids add probably like 7 inches, maybe something like that.
Let me look at Cam Newton height.
Yeah, no, Cam Newton.
I am curious about that. Yeah, 6'5".
Yeah, he's 6'5". So Cam Newton was a big dude, but you got to think he had pretty good muscle mass too. I mean, I don't know what he's built at, but I mean, he was big coming out of Auburn. But
I mean, he's only an inch taller than Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like Cam Newton just had a bigger frame, But no, Richardson is a big dude. I still don't want him taking those hits, though, man. It's just he's so new to the franchise. It's not like he's been here 4 years and we know what we have.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what we have in this kid yet. So let's,
I mean, their weight. I mean, according to Google, they're both 245 pounds. Anthony Richardson's an inch shorter. So I thought AR came into the season at 250. I thought he bulked up a little bit more than that.
He did bulk up. I saw some of those pictures, bro. He was looking big. That was a thick ass boy.
Yeah, he's a big dude. But yeah, I mean, I like the way that he's running. And, like I was talking about with Trevor Lawrence, when you slide like that, you're just leaving yourself open. I know they're not supposed to hit. I know when you slide, the play is over. We all know that. But at the same time, these linebackers, Azeez was not running full speed. We'll just get that out of the way. But there's been a lot of cases where a guy is running full speed. He leads with his shoulder and his arm, and then the quarterback starts to slide. Well, he can't stop the tackle at full speed. It's just a bad, fundamental coaching to slide when a guy is running at you at full speed. It just makes no sense. But
if that same hit happened to Anthony Richardson, in the instant, you want to think, oh, dirty hit. But if we're being fair about Alshire against Lawrence, we gotta be fair if the same hit happens to Anthony Richardson.
Oh no, I'm 100% saying it was dirty.
He's a runner, so we just, as long as we're consistent in that, I think we're good. But I mean, if he took off, man, get ready.
I guess we're gonna talk about it for a second. If
off topic, sorry.
No, it's fine. If he would have tackled him and hit him, whatever, like he was actually going for a tackle, I would have been like, it was a little late. He had started to slide, whatever. Dude, he led with his braced arm. There's metal in those things. He threw his forearm at the dude's face. And he wasn't running. He was at a standstill and lunged with at least don't lunge with your cast arm, bro. It was so obvious.
I mean, there's a reason they don't let them guys wear those hard braces anymore like they used to.
Yeah.
I mean, because they were knocking people out cold.
Yeah. Yeah. And he used it.
Oh, yeah.
But what really worries me in this game, I'm still angry that Gus Bradley has a job. I'm so tired of it. I've talked about it all year. I'm so sick of it.
Yeah.
And I have a bad feeling it's going to be the same thing against Denver. He's going to bring 4, and if you do that, Bo Nix is going to kill you. He's having a really good year. He's looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that bringing 5 or 6 every time is gonna solve that. He's a gunslinger. He's not afraid to throw it over the top. He's just not.
Mm-mm.
So if you're gonna sit back, they made even Drake May looked really good against the Colts. A lot of quarterbacks.
They gave him time to make something happen, and Bo Nix has got the game experience.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, the dude played in college 11 years. So
32-year-old rookie.
Yeah. We got the Brandon Weeden out here. No, I kid, but I think he's got somewhere like 61 starts or something like that in college, which is crazy. I mean, he's got the most starts of any college player in history, which no one's going to break that because of COVID. It added a bunch of time and is transferring from Auburn to Oregon or whatever like that. So he's got game experience, so he knows what to do. He's been on good teams. He's not new to big time games. Because just as important for us, it's important for Denver to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is Bo Nix can make a play. If you give him time, he's a good athlete. You give him time, he's going to turn something out of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very important that we get to the quarterback. And I feel like a broken record because we say this every week, get to the quarterback, get to the quarterback. But that just goes to show how important it is in the NFL, getting pressure on the quarterback, especially rookies. Now, I get it. Look, he's got more game experience than some of the veterans we got. But he's still a rookie at the end of the day to grown-ass men. Now, I get he played at Oregon. Oregon's got some big boys, but they weren't allowed to hit him. He played against some other teams, right? But he was a quarterback. They weren't really going to go after him that strong. The league don't care. The league don't care about your feelings, okay? So Bo Nix is this offense right now. He is. There's no one else on this offense making plays but Bo Nix because they're giving him time. You don't give him time, you rush him. Yeah, I think you got it. I think you got him scared, and he's going to throw a lot of incompletions, a lot of crazy passes. I mean, get in his face. That's just the way I look at it right now. I mean, Bo Nix is that offense for the Broncos right now.
Yeah, and if Gus Bradley is going to keep bringing 4, like
that's not
Buckner, it's not going to work. Buckner, Latu, like they're going to have to take over the game, and it's just not going to work. It really isn't. Like they're going to bring in a tight end, they're going to bring in a running back to block it. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, I mean, at what point do you think that like a veteran like DeForest Buckner, who I feel has got more pull on that defense than Gus Bradley? Like I feel like if Gus went to Shane Steichen and said, "Hey, bro, like Gus is calling some dumb crap. If I see something, I'm gonna change it." I feel like Shane would have his back on that. I mean, one, he's paid, right? Like money talks.
Mm-hmm.
And at what point, when does Buck or Franklin say, "Hey, audible, let's change our coverage, change our look real quick."
Yeah,
to something that they know is going to work instead of Gus Bradley, whatever he's calling in the huddle.
Yeah, like one of these guys, like you were saying, like Zaire or EJ or Nick Cross, man, they just need to call an audible. Like, you know what, he keeps bringing 4. We keep seeing that Latu's winning this battle or Grover's beating this guy. Let's shoot a guy in behind him. Let's bring some pressure right behind him, right next to him. He's eating up those blocks. Let's just do it.
Yeah, if you got an advantage and it's unbalanced on one side, like you're talking about Latu beating a guy, overload that side and just tear into Bo Nix.
Yeah. So if he's going to get that attention, if that's what's happening, shoot someone in between them. Like, and I don't understand why Gus Bradley won't go out of this weak, soft zone bullshit. Like it's in theory, it can be a good defense. It can be, but you have to have great corners.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have great safeties.
Like he's playing conservative, right?
Like
I feel like he's just playing it safe.
Yeah.
Like mailing it in. We'll just play this safe coverage. It can cover different formations, different routes. But it's like, man, like scared money don't win.
The strength of this defense is the front 4 and those linebackers. That's the strength of this defense. Like you have 2 of the best defensive tackles in the league. Mm-hmm. I think you could have one of the best pass rushing duos if you just brought some extra people with it.
Yeah.
And he just won't do it. And against these rookies, that's the kind of thing that Bill Belichick always did.
Yeah.
To these rookie quarterbacks. I can't remember what his record was against rookie quarterbacks, but it was damn near undefeated.
Yeah, Bill's great about making you feel the heat.
Yeah.
And
just bring everybody at him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got this talent on defense, especially the defensive front. Use it, man.
Mm-hmm.
You figure something out. Like this is your only job. Figure it out. You're not the head coach. You don't have to worry about the offense, especially none of that crap. Player management. Figure this crap out, man. Because if you don't, and they see that the defense is the weak link, bro, you're gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm not blown away with the rushing game. I don't know why. I'm not. But
that's because it could be so much more. And every Colts fan knows that by looking at it and seeing, well, they're seeing what you're saying. Hey, he's getting by this guy every time, so why can't we go unbalanced on one side or call a stunt, something to where you can confuse the offensive line or at least throw something different at them, not the same 4-man rush, like let's be creative.
And Gus Bradley was like, I thought you started to say something, and then you just started talking another language, and you lost me. Like I can't stand Gus Bradley right now. Like, and this leads you back to his days in Seattle. Like, was it him? Why that defense was so good?
No.
Was it him or was it the personnel?
Yeah, he had future Hall of Famers on that defense.
Yeah.
And that's what kept him a job. That's what got him a head coaching job. Because once he got that head coaching job, he proved, okay, it wasn't Gus Bradley.
Yeah.
We established that once. Okay. Why does this man keep getting jobs? But that's a whole other show and a conversation about the good old boy system that I can't freaking stand.
Like, either way, I mean, I know we're kind of fast forwarding. We'll get back into Denver in a second, but I want him fired, and I don't know if Robert Saleh right now is going to get another head coaching job. I would love to have him as the defensive coordinator.
Robert Saleh, come on, please.
Like, I don't think he was the problem with the Jets.
Nope.
I mean, the GMs are the one that brought in an old washed-up Rodgers. They went and traded for Devontae Adams, who I think he looked good. I think he's still capable of big games, more than capable. Yeah. They have Garrett Wilson, but again, you did nothing to fix that offensive line. Their offense was they got a lot of good players on the Jets.
So many good players.
And Aaron Rodgers
Jets are phenomenal.
Yeah, like Aaron Rodgers never had time. The line is shit. He's not as mobile as he used to be, so he'd have to run for his life. Problem is, he can't run anymore. Robert Saleh was not the problem with that Jets team. It was the fact that they brought in that idiot from Denver, Aaron Rodgers' coaching buddy, who we all know how he did in Denver.
Yeah,
it was bad.
There's a reason he didn't last in Denver.
There's Robert Saleh. Of all the firings, that one made the least sense to me.
Yeah,
and I would love to have him as a DC. I would much rather him,
especially when his defense was on fire. That's the thing. He's a defensive coach, and the defense was doing great.
Mm-hmm. So the offense was trash, which was what's his face? I can't remember his name.
Now Nathaniel Hackett. Now,
thank you.
Now imagine if the GM, and this does bring question to that. Now I know this is a little off topic, but I do feel strongly about this. At Robert, I'm with you. Robert Saleh was not the problem. Why doesn't the GM go to Robert Saleh and be, hey man, like if you don't make a change on offense and figure something out, then we're going to have to do something for you. Now I don't think that happened. I think it was just like, okay, Robert, you're out. The fans are calling for your head or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
But bro, I'm with you. Gus, you're out. Robert, please come join us and fix our defense, brother. We've got the talent. Just do your magic.
Love it. I would love it. He's going to be trying for another head coaching job, and of course he should. But
he should.
If he doesn't land one, I would be more than happy to have him as our DC.
Because look how successful he was as a DC in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then of course, and look, this goes back to something that we talked about at the beginning of the season. Not all coordinators are meant to be head coaches. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that's not a knock on them. Being a head coach is a CEO job. Because when you're a head coach, you're not just a coach anymore. You're the whole thing. You're the athletic director. You're the president of all the guys. I mean, you're having to mediate crap. I mean, and everybody's cut out. Josh McDaniels, perfect example.
That's an awesome segue also into Shane Steichen. He wants to be the offensive coordinator, but when you're the coach, you coach everything.
Yes.
You coach defense, offense, special team. You need to make sure that your coordinators are doing their job.
Yes.
That's that pyramid of responsibility. Yeah. So when you're doing this and doing this, I think the more experienced coaches can do that. Yeah. But this is his first time as a head coach. I think he should give up that. Like, it could be his strategy.
Yes.
It could be his game plan. But he should not be the one calling play because you got to manage everything else.
See, as a head coach, you're coaching the coaches.
Yeah.
You're not coaching players anymore as a head coach. And that's something I don't think Shane understands.
Mm-hmm.
But as a coordinator, yes, you are.
And when you go through like all the walks of life lesson here, you understand that, like I went through the whole thing in retail. I went through all this shit. You understand that when you're a I'll use grocery. That's what I did. When you're a grocery clerk, you stock stuff. That's what you do.
That's your lane, yeah.
And then when you get that assistant, you're still stocking stuff, but you're also taking some of the responsibility off of the manager, off of that department manager. When you're the manager, you're stocking a lot less because you have to look at the big picture. You have to look at displays, ordering, all this scheduling, all this shit. You're relying on your assistant to do the other menial tasks and make sure that he's managing everyone below. That's that pyramid of responsibility.
Yeah, that hierarchy, exactly.
And when if at any point I was stocking the entire day, I wasn't doing the other shit that I needed to be doing. Same thing with coaching. If he's out there coordinating and calling all the plays for the offense, who the fuck is telling the defensive coach what he needs to do when you're out there calling plays?
Yeah, you're focusing on this, and this is lacking now.
Yeah.
When you need to be delegating a little bit and having the right people in place.
You got to learn when to let go.
Yeah.
And when to tell people that this is what you want, see that it's done or you're done.
Yeah.
Like
and that's something Chris Ballard needs to have that conversation. You have to have that closed door conversation and tell Shane, hey, bro, look, this is what has to happen. Not what I'd like to happen. This is what has to happen. You don't coach the players. You don't call the plays. You coach the coaches, and the coaches coach the players.
Yeah. I am tired of seeing quarterbacks, running backs, and whatever just march up and down the field all over the Colts defense. And these players, they're tired of it. I mean, they average 25 minutes of possession, which means they're on the field for an average of 35 minutes a game.
They're tired.
There's been some of these games where it's 40-plus minutes. You don't win football games when your defense is on the field for 40 minutes. You just don't.
I couldn't imagine that.
All
those snaps, taking all those hits for 45. Come on, man.
I'm not blaming that all on the defense. After a while, those players got to get tired. They get, whatever, because they're on the field for 35, 40 minutes. Some of that's on offense. And that leads us back to maybe Shane shouldn't be calling. He was a really good coordinator, but now you have a much bigger, much more broad responsibility, a lot more on your plate. And I don't know if a change is going to come. I don't know if he's stubborn like Ballard, like, hey, if this roster gets me fired, then so be it attitude. Change.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go down with the ship. That's not like a rule. Yeah. The ship don't have to go down at all, man.
You can always turn the ship, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Don't run into the iceberg. Don't be an idiot. Turn the ship.
Well,
because right now he's driving right into that iceberg.
Well, to be fair, if they had actually went head on with the iceberg, it would have been much, much better. Just saying.
Jack would still be alive.
Jesus.
There was room on that door for two people. Just saying.
Okay. We're gonna go sidetrack here because you know what? Rose was the biggest villain in movie history. Let's get that out of the way. I'm gonna say it. Okay. So she went on this luxurious cruise with her fiance, was given this giant, like, priceless ruby, like banged a homeless man on a boat. And like in somebody's car, Studebaker or whatever the hell they're called, banged him in someone else's car. Like, that thing smelled nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Like, imagine if like the ship had, not done what it did, and the person that owned that car was like, ugh. Anyway, so then they invite this old lady and her daughter. She had a whole life after this, had kids, another husband, all this stuff, right? He invites her on the boat. He's looking for this rupee, and she bores him for like 3 days with this bullshit story and chucks the thing into the sea that he's looking for and then dies on his fucking boat.
Horrible.
And the last memory and the last thing that she sees when she's dying is not of her kids. Her kids are adults at this point now. It's nothing to do with her kids. It's not her husband. It's the guy that she banged for a day.
Yeah, the side piece.
Like, this movie was terrible, and she's the worst person. It's such bullshit. Anyway,
it's true love.
Oh, it was awful. I'm sorry. I don't understand the appeal with that movie. It was like, oh, who's the director? Oh God. I think the reason he made that movie was to be able to go look at the Titanic wreckage and be on someone else's dime. I think that's the entire reason that he did that movie. It's like, yeah, we'll do this crappy love story,
Personal
but
interest.
I really want to just look at the wreckage, but I'm going to get there by saying it's this movie.
Yeah.
I think that's really why the director did it, but whatever. It was an awful movie, and she was a terrible person. But anyway, Denver.
Yeah. So Denver. Do you know that Denver is leading sacks right now?
I didn't.
47 sacks. Yeah, 47 sacks. That is crazy. So that tells you that they're gonna be in the backfield, in the Colts backfield. So we're gonna need all the offensive line help we can get. I mean, these
best
dudes
way to negate it is a really good run game.
Yeah, make them respect it.
Yeah, I think.
Hey, I'm a fan of feeding JT. I've not been shy about that. I'm in that camp. Feed JT.
And I guess if they're going to be blitzing like that, Downs is going to be open.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can't count on the tight ends. Our tight ends are terrible. The tight end room is awful. None of them catch a fucking pass. We don't have a tight end on this roster. We just don't. Like, I'm sorry, Branson can't run the right routes. He can't catch a football. Ogletree can't catch a football. He's hardly ever there. Mo, he's a good
Where's
blocker.
my boyfriend Mallory? Oh my God.
He can't really catch either.
I don't know what's going on. Let's clean house on tight ends. And that's why nobody respects our tight end room.
No.
We haven't given you any inclination that they're worth a shit and they're a threat. They haven't. And that's just cut and dry. I mean, we talked about earlier that the Broncos' Patrick Surtain is probably one of the best, if not the best, corner in the league right now. Josh Downs, kid ain't too bad. Okay. The best thing a quarterback can have is a receiver that knows how to get open. Yeah. Now, look, I get it. Patrick Surtain is good, but he doesn't know what route that the receiver is going to run. And that's the advantage the receiver has. Josh Downs knows how to get open. I don't think Patrick Surtain can stick with Josh Downs if Josh Downs really wants to lose him.
Yeah. He's been really paying attention to Reggie Wayne's route running, like his school of route running. Good. Reggie Wayne was not a burner. He was not whatever, but he was extremely smart. Yep. He knew the route to run. He knew when to make his cut. And it seems like Josh Downs is just like taking everything that Reggie Wayne has to give him and he's putting it into his game.
Well, look at some of the greats in the league that they didn't necessarily have top end speed, but they were epic route runners. Not good route runners. They were epic route runners. Jerry Rice, not a speed guy at all. The dude got open and he made a name for himself, right? Marvin Harrison, not a speed guy. He ran a good route and got open. Reggie Wayne, same thing. And I know the last two are cold. It's low-hanging fruit. I get that. But you look at some of the best route runners, like, Wes Welker. Okay, I know he's a Patriot. Oh, whatever, right?
Give the dude his
props. Give the dude his props. And he was a Bronco. That's right. That's right. Part of the greatest NFL offense of all time, too, with the sheriff,
the GOAT.
Yeah, the real GOAT. Let's be real about that. The real GOAT. But I mean, my point is pure route runners get open. You get open, you get the ball. Plain and simple. You can run a 4.3 like Xavier Worthy or 4.2, whatever the record is. Like you can run that all day long. But honestly, how many times do we see that really make a difference when you're trying to get separation off the line? It doesn't. That's top end speed.
Yep.
Right? So if they can get Josh Downs quick and short passes, and then he can make a play on his own after that, then that'll open up things for, let's say, Adonai Mitchell and Michael Pittman.
I would lean too high on that. You can't say a first-year guy is a bust. You just can't say it. But to this point, Mitchell has been a disappointment. We're lying to ourselves if we say he's been anything other than a disappointment to this point. Yeah. I'm not saying we've seen some big plays. He's made some really good catches. He's also dropped some really easy gimmies.
Yeah.
So it's just been a mixed bag that's been leading towards disappointing instead of Like,
Well, and you and I have been very fair about Adnan Mitchell. I know there's a lot of other Colts shows out there that are just praising him. I mean, don't look, the kid's super talented,
he can get
right?
separation.
Right. But with these drop, you got to catch the ball.
Yeah.
That's your job. That's your one job. Catch the ball.
Getting
Okay. Receiver is
separation means
literally in your job description.
getting separation means absolutely nothing if you can't catch the fucking ball when it
Right.
hits you. Like
Right.
it means nothing.
Yeah. We've given him his props,
Yeah.
and I love me some Adnan Mitchell. I do. I'm a Longhorns fan. I liked him. I watched a ton of him. Right. But you got to catch the ball, man.
Yeah.
I'm on your side, AD. Got to catch the ball, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, I want him to succeed. I was never not on Anthony Richardson's side. I was hard on him. Like that tapping out shit and all, we're past that, but you got to take the criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he came back and played his best game after the benching. So
yeah,
he responded. I mean, and again, back to the retail thing. Like I heard a saying, nothing boosts morale like a good firing. Like when someone is shitty and you keep them on staff and they're allowed to be shit, that plummets morale.
Yeah, because all the players are doing like, what the hell's going on?
If he's supposed to be a leader and I'm tired, bro. Like that's not. Sometimes a good benching is just what people need, and clearly he responded. Yep. There's negative reinforcement and positive reinforcement, depending on the person. You have to choose a lane. It was negative reinforcement. He came back, responded, but I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, I'm glad it went the way that you want it to go as a fan and as a team organization. You want him to respond that way. It's good that he didn't go the opposite way and just like throw his hands up like, oh well, I guess they picked the wrong guy. They don't believe in me anymore. And just starts talking crap, unfollowing the team on Instagram because that's like a thing now. I think it's stupid and childish, but
and what he did is he stood on the sideline. He had his helmet on the entire time. Every time that they were out on the field, he was reading the plays that they were calling off of his wristband. He was fully geared up and ready to go.
Very involved.
And and every time that Joe Flacco was on the sideline, he was sitting right next to him with the coach. Like he was, when they were going to halftime, he was the last guy to go in the tunnel. Like that's the shit that you want to see. And it's like, you know what? At least he's got his mind right. Like
he did all the right things right.
Yeah.
100%.
So I've always said that he's a smart guy. I've always said that he has a good head on his shoulders, and he responded. He responded really well, and he's played a really good stretch, man. That you don't see a lot of drives like that 19-play drive against the Patriots. Like you just don't see stuff like that. Like there are bad teams in the NFL.
That showed us what he's capable of.
Yeah, like they're not. The Patriots are like 20-something in defense. Like they're not like, oh my God, we beat the number one team. I'm not trying to hype it up like that, but
it's still an NFL defense at the end of the day.
Yeah, you're still playing the best.
Yeah, there's a lot of quarterbacks out there that wouldn't be able to do what he did. But then again, Anthony Richardson has been blessed with some talents that a lot of quarterbacks do not have. There's a lot of normal athletes in the NFL that don't have the abilities that Anthony Richardson had.
Yeah. And he kicked a lot of bugaboos in that game. He was completing short passes. They were accurate. There was fourth downs, high pressure, game on the line, converted each time. And the biggest one was a short pass, Alec Pierce, back of the end zone. It was a beautiful pass. It's like that had to have kicked a lot of that, the monkey on the shoulder kind of thing. Like it had to feel really good to deliver a strike. And then immediately the next play. And what I loved about Anthony Richardson, after he threw that pass, it wasn't celebrating who and Han. He was locked in, had his hands on his helmet. Like, let's fucking get this 2-point. Like, he wasn't celebrating the touchdown. Like, next play, let's go.
Right.
Converted and hit it. Like, that shows a lot of and then he celebrated.
Yes.
Which I'm fine.
And you cannot ask for more than that from your quarterback to be totally locked into that moment. To not even want to celebrate the touchdown because you're worried about the win.
Yeah.
Like the touchdown's nice, but he wants the win. And that is amazing to me. If I'm Shane Steichen or Chris Ballard, I'm very excited.
that moment right there, like Shane Steichen and Anthony Richardson finally locked in together and they were on the same fucking page. This is what we're going to do. They did it. They did this 5-minute, 19-play drive against an NFL defense, did everything right. They were still drop passes, and Anthony Richardson didn't tuck his tail in. He didn't bob his head. He said, fuck it, 4th down. We still have another down. Let's get it.
Yeah.
And they did it. So that whole drive could be like career shifting for him. I'm not saying that, oh my gosh, whatever, but that can really change how you view yourself going forward. Like if he threw a pick there, it would have been devastating.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I mean, that would have been a confidence killer.
Yeah.
But I think what happened that needed to happen is he got the easy completions, build that confidence, to give him the internal confidence to say, okay, I can do this, right? And against Denver, that's what's going to happen. You're going to have to call those plays early, build his confidence, get those easy completions. That way he's confident making that medium to long throw if you want to, like catching Pierce down deep or, AD medium or something like that.
He did, though, and that's what's so frustrating. He threw a perfect pass. Yeah, Granson had to die for it, but it was in a place that only Granson could get it.
Mm-hmm.
And he just couldn't come down with it. And then there was another one to AD. It was in the fucking bucket, man. Like, it was there, and he dropped it. Like, he was throwing dimes on that last play. I don't care against what if he's playing with any of these Devontae Adams, Jeffersons, Chases, whatever, that's a touchdown.
Right.
Like these guys have got to get their shit together when it comes to catching a football.
Well, and that's something that I think AD needs to step back and put his ego aside and understand, okay, I was great at University of Texas, but I embarrassed myself my rookie year in the NFL. I need to step back and look, what do I need to do? Do I need to get with my future Hall of Fame wide receivers coach, Reggie Wayne, and say, hey, like, coach, what can I do? Show me what you did to be so successful in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Or get with guys like Pittman, guys like Downs, who don't have problems dropping the football. Say, hey, guys, please help me. I know I'm young. Please help me. I want to have successful careers like you. And I get it. Josh Downs is young as well, but he doesn't have the problems. And guys that don't have the problems, you want to pick their brain, even if they're a year older than you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Downs is playing like he's been in the league forever. Like he just understands it. He gets it.
Exactly. He gets it. Yes.
He just gets it. And he's, like I said, our tight ends are shit. And he's like, they should be that security blanket for Anthony Richardson, and they're not. That's Downs. And him being out there against Denver is so important because he can also get deep. Like he can also get downfield. And he can get separation too. Yeah.
He's one of those hybrids that has enough speed to break away, but he can get that separation as a pure route runner. And that's what makes Downs so dangerous in my eyes, is that he is that hybrid receiver. But I think with the tight end situation, hopefully if Chris Ballard still has a job come draft season, hopefully he can look at a couple of these tight ends that look pretty darn good. I mean, you got Oscar Delp out of Georgia. You got Colston Loveless out of or Loveland, I think I'm getting his name wrong, out of Michigan. I mean, these are two top guys. And if you watched any college football at all this year, then you would agree that either one of these two guys can come into the Colts organization and be that safety blanket that you're talking about, Jeff, and just totally help Anthony Richardson and expand the offense, give you another dynamic instead of just, it's either Jonathan Taylor or it's our passing game. Like, no, now we have a short range tight end that can make plays like a Travis Kelce, a George Kittle. I mean, okay, I get it. These guys are future Hall of Famers, but you get what I'm saying. Like, as far as that play after the ball, after the catch, excuse me.
You came in a little late, Gremlin. We talked about it earlier.
You gotta hit that live part right there and catch up to us, brother.
No, I think he just jumped in and he watched CPA. Yeah, they were still crying about the Aziz hit. No, I'm just saying our issue with it, Gremlin, was that not so much the actual hit, it was the fact that he led with the brace. I think that was the only come on, bro.
Well, and what led to that? What led to that? That you might have missed is we were talking about how Anthony Richardson,
Yeah.
sliding and running out of bounds and taking hits and things like that. That's how that led into that. So
Mhm.
we weren't just beating a
We
dead horse
segued.
on that. Yeah, yeah. It
There's
was
a segue with it.
Right,
No,
right.
we were talking about how Anthony Richardson, when he gets out of the pocket and runs with the football, he acts like a running back. Like he's been lowering his shoulder, he's been flattening these safeties, he's been flattening these DBs that try to tackle him. He's just barreling them over,
Putting hits on boys.
That's protecting himself. Like he's protecting the ball, he's lowering the shoulder, he's doing what he's supposed to. That's what runners do. So that's
right.
Yeah.
Well, and as a runner, it's hit or be hit, right? So if you're not willing to lower that shoulder and try and run your guy over, they're gonna put you on your ass and you're gonna be embarrassed. So the best thing for you to do, man, just truck them.
Yeah, and that's like the whole thing is we understand the rule, the sliding rule. We get it. As soon as you slide, the play's over. Blah 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 blah. But at the same time, you've got now no way to defend yourself.
Yeah.
And just look at Trevor Lawrence. Like he started to slide, he can't move, he can't run, he can't juke, he can't do anything.
Yeah.
He's like what 6'6" or something like that.
Yeah.
Most of the time he was vertical. And then started to do that. Like that whole time, you can't do anything if someone like Aziz were to go in for a hit.
Right.
Like you can't do
shit. Yeah, don't give up your silhouette. Yeah. I mean, go flat and get down and be safe.
Yeah. And that's what I've liked about when we already talked about this, but that's what I like about Lamar Jackson's run game. Like it's not necessarily a slide; he just gets down, right. even if it's just falling down, going forward, whatever, out of bounds. That's the kind of thing that they need to be teaching these guys.
Because a lot of guys before they would slide and then slide like 4 more yards, and then the old rule used to be where you stopped and got touched, that was where you were down. Now it's where you start your slide, boom, you're down because you've given yourself up as a runner, and that's what protects the quarterbacks is you're giving yourself up.
Yeah.
So I think now that's what's changed that aspect of sliding. So I'm like you said, I'm glad he's doing that. But
don't put yourself in a position to take a hit like that.
No.
But I like the way that Anthony Richardson's been running. There's been some big gains, but they've been meaningful rushes that have been forward gains, just kind of asserting that run game dominance. And that's how this team is built. And if they keep doing that, they have a really good shot against Denver. Mm-hmm. Again, they have to get after Bo Nix. They got to get in his face. They're not going to do it, but we keep saying it. They don't fucking do it.
And I don't think it's them. I think it's the defensive scheme that's being called for them. And I feel so bad for these guys because these guys are killers, man. And if you call up the right scheme, man, these guys are going to eat up a quarterback and eat up an offensive line.
One of these weeks,
Denver offense is not that great. It's Bo Nix. He's getting time. He's being an athlete.
Yeah.
We know something about having an athletic quarterback, don't we? You don't let him be an athlete, okay? Mm-hmm. So Bo Nix, actually, a fun fact is Bo Nix has the most completions on third down, most yards and completions on third down.
That's why the Colts are so
tough. Who has the worst? Yeah, we do. So third down is going to be very crucial to watch this week because
the Colts have been tough to watch on third down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tough. It doesn't matter what the down and distance is. It's just like, all right, well, first down, here we go. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. It hasn't mattered.
Yeah.
They're going to convert it. It's so infuriating. Like, do yourself a favor and get off the field.
Have to. And I think that's where Bo Nix is just being an athlete, getting that first down on third downs. I mean, he's making plays happen, using his legs, things like that. I mean, he did that in college. So you have tape. We talked about the kid played 11 years in college. There's plenty of film out there to see what he does. Let's not act like this is the first time we've ever seen him.
I think a few times Gus has surprised me, and I'm not just talking this year. He surprised me, and he has changed up his defensive scheme. I think last year with the Ravens, he got after him, man. He has changed it up. But it seems like whenever we come up against these rookies, he's like, we don't need to pressure him. We don't need to do that. And then they sit back there and just pick you apart. I'm fully expecting a 4-man rush. I'm not expecting Gus Bradley to do anything different. I'm fully expecting this to be another like I'm about to turn off the game because I'm sick and tired of seeing the same fucking defense. But he might surprise us. He might. He won't. But
I wouldn't hold your breath on that, everybody. Don't do that. Don't give them hope, Jeff.
It's gonna be up to Buckner and Latu and Kwity Paye to take over the game because he's not going to do anything to help him.
Exactly, dude. Like, if you're those guys, I would get together and be like, hey, look, man, if Gus starts calling this BS, we're running this defense, and then deal with it after the fact. Because if it works, you look like a hero, and no one's the wiser that Gus didn't draw that up.
Yeah.
Right? But if it doesn't work, now Gus is like, hey, what are you doing? But I trust Grove. I trust Buck. I trust EJ. I trust Latu's earned the trust. I trust Franklin.
I don't trust EJ that much, to be honest. Like, yeah, he's like he leads the league in missed tackles. Like, I don't trust him that much.
He's got a lot of help around him. And that's the thing that I do trust is I trust his surrounding cast.
Yeah. I think this is a good place. Let's do predictions. What do you got, man?
So ESPN Bet has got the game at 44.5. I don't know if that's across the board or not, but this may sound crazy, but I think that's about right, man. I think it's going to be another like within 6-7 points. That just seems to be the MO of the Colts all season. They just like to keep it close, like to keep us entertained, keep us interested.
Okay. So the Broncos are 4-point. This is according to MGM. The Broncos are 4-point favorites, and they have the over/under at 44.
Okay. Wait, not a half? That's weird.
We just have it at 44.
Okay. All right. Well, MGM, you have some fixing to do. Normally there's a 0.5 associated with any point.
Yeah, like the Dolphins, Texans. The Texans are 3-point favorites at 47 over/under. That's what they have.
I mean, I'm not a huge betting guy, but just from what I've seen lately,
they have a lot of games without the half point.
I wonder if they're going to make adjustments. Well, no, it's already Friday. Like, they better figure that out real quick.
Get out of here, Grublin. We don't want to see that shit.
Don't be putting that voodoo on me, Ricky Bobby.
Get out of here, bro.
Man,
worry about the Texans losing to the Dolphins, man.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 3-point game, dude. I don't want it to be that close, but I think it's gonna be a 3-point game. You went 24-27, didn't you? I went
27-24, yeah.
Oof, man, I'm gonna go 21. Man, I'm gonna go 21 to. God, dog it. 21-27. No, dog it, man.
It's a tough game, man. I think these two teams match up really well.
They do. That's what's so hard. Man, okay, I'm sorry, man. I like your score. I'm gonna steal yours. I'm gonna go with you on that one, 24-27. Because it just seems so realistic to me, that it's gonna be that close.
Yeah, it's again, this is a playoff game here on out. It's a playoff game. Colts really can't afford to lose anymore. So let's get that win in Mile High, man. We need it. I think it's a good place to wrap it up. The wife's out in the car anyway, trying to unload the kid, so I got to go help her. So if you're here, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate it. Tell your friends. just watch it. Hit the like button, subscribe. We'd appreciate it. Head over to this AFC South show. Do the same. Go to Kingmaker_DFF. Show Justin some love over there, and he'll help you out. Any questions you got, ask. Even in the comments here.
Hit me up Sunday morning, man. Let's talk about your start sits, dude. Let's help you win some games. We got playoffs. This is crunch time. Just like fantasy football, or just like the Colts have a must win, you've got a must win every week.
Yep.
Get me in the DMs. Let me help you out.
Oh, everyone's knowing that you're watching the pod. Anyway, until Monday, hopefully it'll be a Colts victory Monday, victory week. Let's beat the Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it, man. For the shoe.
Heck
Blue, baby.
yeah. Let's
We'll
do
see.
it. Let's show them who the real horse is. Tell them, Seth.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's do it, baby. We got this. I hope we got this. All right. We'll see y'all on Monday. Y'all be good people. Thanks again, Justin, for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, buddy. See you next time.